Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Everybody, thank you for tuning in this morning. Breaking news early on. Urban Meyer fired yesterday. Big deal coming out of Jacksonville. DeAndre Hopkins expected to miss the whole season. We've got the Red Wings playing tonight. The Pistons playing as well. Lots to talk about today. Jim Caldwell coming back, Jeff?
We got to talk about that, Adam. We got to talk about that.
All right, let's get into the first discussion, which directly impacts the Lions because they play the Cardinals this weekend. DeAndre Hopkins expected to miss the entire regular season.
Yeah.
There is a chance he may come back in the playoffs. But, Jeff, we got to look at this in a totally different window now.
Yep.
Not only for the Lions, we can get to that later. DeAndre Hopkins is out. You have A.J. Green, Rondell Moore, Christian Kirk, Kyler Murray, James Conner. It's a dynamic offense still. Having said that, they've got a 2-game lead in the NFC West. Mm-hmm. Do you see the Cardinals blowing it again?
Well, I do have questions about the Cardinals, even though I'm a big fan of them. I've been behind them for majority of the year, but I will say this: the loss of DeAndre Hopkins, and mind you, he's already missed games. They've won games without him, but this is what matters to the Cardinals. Even though DeAndre Hopkins isn't having the year we're used to him having, he still brings a ton of attention to himself from any secondary he lines up against. And that's what the Cardinals, I think, will miss, is the attention he brings. You know, when defenses, they're studying the Cardinals, you know, in the film room, they're looking at DeAndre Hopkins. Even though the production necessarily isn't there, he's still a threat. I mean, that's why the middle of the field is open for guys like Christian Kirk, you know, A.J. Green. He opens up a whole lot. So that's what I think the Cardinals will miss. What does it do for the NFC West? Well, I'm not willing to give the Cardinals any slack. They're held to expectations, you know, especially the way the year started, you know, starting off hot. You know, I think their first loss was at about 7-0, 8-0. Now, go win the division. And don't pull a Pittsburgh-esque collapse like last year, because this Arizona team, and look, Cliff Kingsbury in his third year, they've, you know, progressively got better every year a little bit. Kyler Murray in his third year, and you saw last year. I mean, this is a former number 1 overall pick, a 2019 AP Rookie of the Year, Heisman Trophy winner, and you've seen his play start to die down towards the end of the season. I'm hoping with now the loss of DeAndre Hopkins, we don't see, you know, any this offense become stagnant. I think they'll still be fine, but what the bad part of this is, and I think it'll affect A.J. Green, because now you're looking at teams are looking at their Jalen Ramsey, their, you know, Stephon Gilmore, their best corner, and saying, all right, take care of A.J. Green. And before it was, all right, get Hopkins, you know, we're going to float around A.J. Green, make sure he stays. No, now it's all attention goes to A.J. Green. So I think it's going to be a little harder on the receivers for Arizona, but they have no excuses. Defensively, they're still intact. I mean, yeah, they lost J.J. Watt. They might get him back sometime in playoff time, but I'm not giving this Cardinals team any slack. If anything, that should make Kyler Murray, if he continues to perform even better, make him look even better, which should be his goal. So I'm not giving him any slack, and I think they should take care of business. And what do they got? Like a 2-game lead in the NFC West right now? They have a 2-game lead.
Technically one.
Yeah.
Well, I should say it the opposite way. A 1-game lead. They're 10-3. The Rams are 9-4, but they do own the tiebreaker over the Rams. Having said that, Cardinals are in trouble, man.
They are.
Look, their next 4 games are not easy at all outside of Detroit. But Detroit's on the road. Well, Arizona plays really good on the road, so maybe I should kind of pivot there. But having said that, they're home to the Colts after Detroit. They're away to Dallas, and they're home to the Seahawks.
It's tough.
I can see them losing their last 3 games of the year without DeAndre Hopkins. And you saw how they missed him last night. Christian Kirk was, A.J. Green slightly, down the field was a deep threat, but Kirk really made the 2 big plays of the game
100%.
Down the field for the Cardinals. James Conner, phenomenal. But the gadget player in Rondell Moore, who I think we can all agree is nice, but is he a number 1, number 2, number 3? You're not sure yet. He's so young.
Right.
And with A.J. Green, he's a veteran, but he's an old veteran. You're going to make him wide receiver 1. I think the Cardinals are in trouble. I'm not sure about their defense. It's really fallen off the last few weeks. They've given up 30 to the Rams, 22 to the Bears. I don't know. Maybe they bounce back. The Detroit game is a must-win for them.
Definitely.
And who knew they would have to say that this late into the year? But it's not a knock on Detroit. It's just you have to win this game in Detroit this week now.
Definitely.
You don't have a margin for error. The Colts are pushing for the playoffs. The Cardinals then have to visit the Dallas Cowboys, and that'll affect NFC seeding. And then the last game of the year is against a division rival. That's never an easy game. I don't care if it's the Seahawks.
100%.
Look, the worst I see them being is 1-3. Best case scenario, they finish 2-2, and they hope that the Rams don't win out. Because if they win out, the Rams win the division. So look, the division it's the Cardinals to lose.
And if they finish 11-6, that's
pathetic.
It is. I mean, disappointing for them
to start 10-2 and finish 11-6. It's Pittsburgh Steelers-esque.
Yeah, esque, definitely. And especially this is the Rams' next 4 games, which I think they can realistically still win this division.
I see the warning signs. I'm sorry. I know people don't want to hear this, but Detroit on the road, a team that loves to cover against the spread.
Right.
You're likely going to be in a close game if Detroit can get their full team back. Likely. Granted, Arizona is extremely dominant on the road.
Yeah.
But these are 4 tricky games. On the road to Detroit, home to the Colts, away to Dallas, home to Seattle. That is not easy.
Yeah.
This late into the year. Cardinals might blow the division, man. And that affects the whole NFC.
It does.
Because now the Packers are the clear favorites to get the number 1 seed. Let's all be honest here. But the Buccaneers are pushing for it. So you could see the division winner of the NFC West, if it's an 11-6, 12-5 team, they very well could be the 4 seed.
Yeah, I know.
And then they need to play the 5 seed. That's
a first round exit.
I wouldn't say an exit, but it's gonna be a difficult game.
It's gonna be a tough game.
It really is.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you look at the NFC playoff picture right now. You've got the Packers at 1, clear favorite. Tampa Bay number 2, great, love it. Number 3, you've got Arizona. And then you've got Dallas at 4. You know who the 5 seed is? If Arizona wins the division and falls to 4? Los Angeles Rams. That's a first-round exit. Sorry, Arizona. Especially if DeAndre Hopkins can't get healthy. Sorry. That's just the truth. And then what? They stay at the 3 seed? You know who they have to play? Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers.
Yeah.
That's not fun either. The Cardinals need wins. But unfortunately, it looks like the Buccaneers are going to end up playing the 7th seed, whoever that may be, whether it's Washington, Minnesota, Philly. The 2 seed will have the easiest wild card of all the teams, both AFC and NFC. But man, this is very the implications of this injury are extreme. We can go into the fantasy side of it.
Yep.
Christian Kirk is now more valuable. AJ Green more valuable. If you're desperate, Rondale Moore. Oof. Wow, this is a tough injury to overcome.
I think, especially aside from the Hopkins injury, it's a good year for us to really evaluate not only Kyler Murray, faced with adversity, but also Cliff Kingsbury. Like, this is interesting. Now you go away to Detroit, which you should take care of business. And you just mentioned the next 3 games that arguably they could lose every single one of them. This will show us a lot, not only about the Cardinals as a whole, but Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury. So,
I love our chat. God bless all of you. I know why Urban Meyer got fired. Kennedy left the morning show. He's going to Montana. That makes so much sense.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Perfect timing. You guys are spot on this morning. God bless you guys. Absolutely.
Urban Meyer just goes.
No, they're absolutely right. We'll get to Urban Meyer.
God, I can't wait.
Around 8:14, 8:15. But yeah, Jeff, look, they're going to miss DeAndre Hopkins. But if James Conner can continue to play at the level he's been playing, they may get Edmonds back. They're not rushing him back. He technically could have played against the Rams, but they're giving him time. Do you see Edmonds making enough of an impact to kind of compensate for it? Let alone the receivers. I don't see them being able to compensate for DeAndre Hopkins. I'm sorry.
No, you're definitely not going to be able to compensate for DeAndre. But I think James, obviously, you've seen him being used more in the pass game, and I think that'll only continue to escalate because you saw the one-handed catch he made against the Rams. I mean, the guy's showing more and more, but it's going to have to be the AJ Green, Christian Kirk, and I'm going to mention a name that's a little low-key, but I think he's going to have to step up. Zach Ertz. I think Zach Ertz, he's only been in this offense for a couple weeks, but he's going to have to step up as well. So it's going to be a good 4-game stretch to evaluate the Cardinals, and what do we have in the Cardinals? Because we know what we have in the Rams. Injury riddled, no Jalen Ramsey. They got to win on the road. So Cardinals got to show us something. Definitely.
Look, I'm telling you, if they win one of their last 4 games, it'll be problematic.
Big. Yeah.
Cliff Kingsbury, questions will be asked. I don't care. This is the second straight year you collapsed towards the end of the year if you finish 1-3.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to beat Detroit 1 week at a time. We talked about this when Michigan lost to Michigan State. 1 week at a time. Control what you can control. Arizona, go beat Detroit.
Yep.
And it really gives you that breathing room you need going against the Colts, going on the road against Dallas, playing at home the final game of the year against Seattle. That's a lot. It really is.
Man.
Cards really need to get it figured out.
And to play that 3-game schedule right before the playoffs, like that, Cardinals, man. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. Because tough 3-game stretch.
What do the Cardinals look like they're missing? Outside of talent. They have an abundance of talent. I feel like they're missing the little things. They don't do the little things right.
Mm-hmm.
And in the NFL, the little things are everything. You have a talented quarterback. You have a talented defense. Strong wide receiving core. Decent offensive line.
Yep.
Strong backfield. Great. Cliff, where are the little things that you're going to be tight on that'll prevent you from losing some of these games down the stretch? I'm extremely interested to see how it plays out. We got to go to break. When we get back, Urban Meyer. Why are you kicking people? He's out of a job, Jeff. Tell him where he can get a job.
Well, Urban Meyer, listen, you're good with your feet, I heard. And guess what? You can use your feet. Northwestern Tech, you can start a new career in an industry that is always essential. It's the heating and cooling industry. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. With mortgage interest rates unbelievably low, the stakes to find your new home have never been higher. And that's why Hall Financial's exclusive realtor network allows us to connect you with a top-rated realtor in your area, making sure you take on the housing market and win. Hall Financial has earned over 4,000 five-star reviews because of our technology and our commitment to closing your loan fast. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer.
We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
In honor of Kennedy Broadwell, unfortunately no longer being here, her best friend, Urban Meyer, Kennedy, she's not here to talk about him, but he got canned. He got fired.
Tomato canned.
He is... Oh, wait. My favorite. I have to step away from the game of football to focus on myself and my family. That guy, who is a phenomenal football coach, nobody can deny it, in college.
Yep.
This guy always walks away or is let go with controversy. It never fails. Shad Khan, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, comes out late last night, early technically this morning, and the decision has been made. Urban Meyer is out in Jacksonville, and I couldn't agree more with the decision. Sorry, you can't kick people. Somebody forgot to give Urban Meyer the memo that when you deal with NFL players who are making millions of dollars and are professional adults, grown men, that it's probably not a good idea to kick them when they're stretching, let alone 53 out of the 55 people on that roster can probably maul you.
Yeah.
So putting your hands on them isn't really a great idea. Reports coming out, Darrell Bevell will be the interim coach, and the Jaguars internally are big fans of Darrell Bevell, his leadership style, and I love that quote, his leadership style. How bad do you have to be where Darrell Bevell is considered a great leader?
Look at Darrell Bevell again.
And you go back to it, Matt Patricia was a perfect example.
Yeah.
He was there when Patricia got fired. Mm-hmm. He was, quote-unquote, the right guy, leadership, everything changed, the culture was better. And now we're seeing it with Urban.
Yeah.
Guys, if you haven't gotten the memo, this is 2 coaches now in less than 24 months. Hell, 18, 16 months. You don't kick players. You don't yell at them in a derogatory way. You don't undermine them and disrespect them. This is the NFL. Not that it's okay to do it in college, but Jesus Christ, you're going to be held accountable in the NFL. You can't get away with it in the NFL. Someone explain to me how it's okay to kick a professional player, let alone any human being. Look, I love Urban Meyer as a football coach. I thought he was brilliant at Ohio State. His analysis on Fox Sports I thought was always really good. Having said that, you are a jackass. You can't be kicking players. The irony, kicking the kicker. What are you doing? What are we doing this morning? I'm talking about Urban Meyer getting fired because he can't build a culture? What? You had the #1 overall pick. You walked into such a beautiful situation. Everybody in Jacksonville was going to give you 3 years. Minimum. Because you had Trevor Lawrence. They were going to give him time to develop. They knew you needed to address the offensive line. The defense had some nice pieces, yes, but you could still add a little more. It was not a complete team. Urban, you had time. And before the season ends, the whole roster probably wants to kill you. What are you doing? What could you possibly be doing? But oh, wait, my favorite part. How could I forget? Adam, shame on you. How could you forget? Everybody in this room, tough loss tonight, guys. We really put in a good effort. Everybody get on the plane, go home. I got some business to take care of here. Go spend time with your families. I'll see you guys in Jacksonville for practice. I'm going to go get a lap dance from an 18-year-old at a bar. That's what I'm going to do because we just lost. I need to cope with this loss by going and drinking a nice cocktail and getting a Sheila Ford-esque hug from some lovely ladies down at the bar. What are we doing here?
And not joining your team.
This is look, the NFL totally about coaching. Totally about talent. You need both. There's no such thing as one overcompensating the other. You can slightly compensate, but never to an extreme level of perfection. Having said that, who told Urban Meyer that? Who did he get advice from? Hey, man, look, you're going to the NFL, Urban. You got to talk down to them. You got to be like Matt Patricia. You got to be so toxic that they don't even want you there. That's how you get their respect. Really? Who told you that? Somebody. Not even in the NFL. Tell me. This is why you fire the most toxic people at your company. This is the exact reason why. Because they have a detrimental effect to everybody in the building. I don't care how good they are.
Yep.
Urban Meyer, don't care how good you are as a head coach, especially in college. Your toxicity is not welcomed here. We will never reach our full potential with your actions. I'm sorry. It will never happen. Marvin Jones fighting, the kicker getting kicked.
Trevor Lawrence coming out
defending James Robinson.
Yeah,
how you're not running the ball more with a rookie. Like, I have so many questions. That's what makes me laugh about Darrell Bevell. Like, listen, I was doing everything behind the scenes really well. I'm a great leader. I wasn't botching the play calling. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with Urban benching my star running back. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Trevor looks...
You're kidding me.
He doesn't look good this year.
Look, I hate to be the guy that says, not I told you so, but you could see this a mile away. The night he got caught out at the bar. Mm-hmm. That night, he should have been fired. But they gave him time to earn the respect, to quote Shad Khan. He didn't. And they delivered. They fired him. Good. You better get this next hire right. And it ain't Darrell Bevell, I'll tell you right now.
No.
You got to bring in a young offensive Kellen Moore.
Yep.
I know Joe Brady just got fired.
Pick up the phone,
but to be
call
honest,
Josh
I'm not
McDaniels
sure what the
too.
hell is going on in Carolina because the consensus is people like the coaching, they like the talent, they need a quarterback, but it feels like the GM wants everything right now all at once, and he's ready to chop heads. Yeah. So I'm not sure what the hell is going on in Carolina, but Brady's available. Kellen Moore, if you kind of reach out to him, maybe he'll be available. Brian Dabble.
Pick up the phone, call Josh McDaniels, see if he's interested in anything.
You know, I wouldn't offer McDaniels a job. I like it. I think he's so brilliant.
How he looks with Mac, and you have Trevor.
I know, but Jeff,
but I get what you're saying. Realistically, he probably
when he was
New
with Denver,
he probably
they
won't.
started 4-1, or no 4-0, I believe, and they had just beaten the Patriots to start 4-0. Just beat Bill Belichick. Everybody, wow, Josh McDaniels, the future of the NFL, and it totally fell apart.
Yeah,
and he fell apart, and he was caught doing some of the Spygate stuff, and it really put a black eye or a mark, whatever you want to call it, on Josh McDaniels.
And then the Colts thing.
Yeah, I just think he's so brilliant as a coordinator that I wouldn't want him as my head coach. Not that it's a knock on him. He's one of, if not the best offensive coordinators in the NFL. He's unbelievable, but not for the head coaching job. Not me. Who do you think? I'm thinking
I like Kellen
Moore,
yeah.
Brian Dabble. You know, the current popular pool of head coaches, potential head coaches, I should say.
Someone to speak Trevor Lawrence's language. You need someone like that. I mean, Urban Meyer wasn't working, and neither is Darrell Bevell. So, new offensive coordinator. But this Urban Meyer thing, man, is I'm glad it's over. Finally, I'm not even. I could care less about the Jacksonville Jaguars, but now they're 2-11, and that project's over. And the whole Josh Lambo thing, like. You know the story already. Like Josh Lambo, he missed all 3 of his field goal attempts in weeks 1 through 3, and then that's when the report came out. Meyer came up to him while he was stretching, said, "Hey, Dip, you know what? Make your effing kicks." So it's like, good luck, Urban Meyer.
If I'm a coach and I'm Urban Meyer and my kicker's stretching and he's struggling, I'm gonna walk up to him, give him a nice little left tap on the butt. Hey, bud. Come on, you're better than this. Make your kicks.
Yeah, you'd think. Like, that'd be the normal.
Like, you know, it warranted. Like, you got to read the temperature of the room, Urban. Like, I can't walk back there because Justin messed up a lower third, and I just kick him. Like, hey, do the lower thirds better, Justin. Like, this is not how. It's like, it's not how you run it up. It's just not. And Doug Peterson's being considered allegedly in Jacksonville. That would be interesting. I don't know. I do find it funky as well that teams that have hired back-to-back head coaches who have been absolutely atrocious have went to Bevel. It's interesting. Look, guys, culture matters. No one is saying it doesn't matter. The Lions kind of getting it right now in terms of culture and kind of the vibe in Allen Park and their facility. That they got that. You need talent and you need better coaching, and if you get that, you're gonna have a good football team. And with Urban Meyer, I don't care how good of a coach you are. If that's how you're going to treat your players, unless you're 10-1, I'm sorry, winning matters. People judge you by wins and losses. Unless the Jaguars were 10-2, 10-3, whatever the record may be, you can't be kicking players. No. Not that you can be kicking players at 10-3, but people kind of will look past it like, yeah, coach kicks me every once in a while, but hey, we're 10-3, we're going to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're willing to put up with a lot when you're winning, but when you're losing, the smallest thing will take you over the edge. It's unreal.
And that's what Trevor Lawrence said. He said, we can't keep being in the headlines if we want to win games. Like, and that was before the firing. So, like, he kind of alluded to it already.
The Jim Caldwell people have entered.
We got to get to that.
I love it. We're going to get to Jim Caldwell, guys, around, I want to say 9:15. Yeah, around 9:15-ish. We're going to get to Jim Caldwell, and we'll discuss whether or not he should be a head coach in the NFL, where he should be. But don't tell me culture matters and Jim Caldwell was our culture. I love you, Mike. You know I love you. You're here every morning with us. But come on. Culture is somewhat important. But a culture of what under Jim Caldwell? His team's collapsing late in games, 10 men on the field, inability to be aggressive late in games, playoff games, may I remind you, 4th and 1 in Dallas territory. Inability to coach up. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't see it. I don't see what his culture was that was so good that any team in the Lions situation would have fired him.
Yeah.
Now, would it have been after the 9-7 year? I told you guys a million times. Whether you like the decision or not, he was getting fired because Bob Quinn invested his entire career and his GM job on Matt Patricia. That was going to happen whether you liked it or not. That doesn't make it right or wrong. That's just the reality. Caldwell was no saint. He was not the best, let's say, the best head coach out there in the NFL. We'll get to him a little later. I got to tell you guys about my bookie. Thursday Night Football tonight. The Chiefs take on the Chargers. Guys, not only is football on tonight, you've got the Red Wings playing tonight. I believe they go up against, who do they play up against? The Carolina Hurricanes tonight. That may not look good. Carolina is one of the best teams in the NHL. You've got the Pistons taking on the Pacers. Malice in the Palace, probably not going to happen ever again. Having said that, take advantage of my bookies dollar-for-dollar match right now. You put in $100, they'll give you $100. You put in $2, they'll give you $200. Guys, bet from anywhere, anytime using my bookie. And don't forget to use the code Woodward. And of course, my friends, if you suck or you're taking advice from somebody who sucks at sports betting, gambling is not for you. Having said that, if not only you suck, but you continue to play and you have a problem, please call the Gambling Problem Hotline at 1-800-270-7117.
It's that time of the year again. Time for our second annual Stuff a Studio with Woodward Sports. Last year, Metro Detroit came together to help make the largest single toy donation in Mott Children's Hospital history. This year, we make it even bigger. Stuff a Studio is happening December 13th through the 17th at the Woodward Sports Studios in Birmingham. The children in Mott Children's Hospital fight so hard all year. Now it's up to all of us to help bring a smile to their faces. So while you're out holiday shopping, make sure you pick up an extra toy or two and help us spread some love to Metro Detroit this season. We look forward to seeing you December 13th through the 17th as we stuff our studio with Woodward Sports and Meyer.
Woodward Sports Network, let's go! Ho, 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 ho!
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network, whether you're listening to us on FM radio, 101.5, 94.7, The Roar. Guys, hear me out. Whether you're on the Woodward Sports app, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, don't care. We got to talk about something. Jim Caldwell. We're going to talk about it now. Chat is on one about this right now. So we'll discuss it. We'll move it up in the show.
Let's do it.
Jim Caldwell. Mike O'Hara comes out, makes his case why Jim Caldwell should be a head coach in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Mike O'Hara, somebody should take away your Twitter. How dare you? This guy does the quote-unquote deserve a job. Why? Guys, this is a common theme. If you want to blame anybody, blame the Detroit Lions, not Jim Caldwell. Or the NFL, for that matter.
Right.
Because last I checked, every head coach that's ever taken the head coaching job for the Detroit Lions, they have never had another head coaching job since. Now, is that all their fault? I mean, there's a lot of blame to go around here. Having said that, we got to stop defending Caldwell here. Why? We accept mediocrity in this town? Hockey town, guys. Perspective. What is this? What is Detroit? What is the meaning of Detroit sports? Huh? Bad Boys Pistons. Going to work Pistons. Prime Tigers. All those ALCSs. The World Series runs. Competitive teams spending big money. The Red Wings spending big money. Dynasties. Back-to-back cups. 4 Stanley Cups in that era. One of the original 6. Some of the greatest hockey players you've ever seen touch the ice. Some of the greatest basketball players you've ever seen hit the core. Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, Ben Wallace, Chauncey Billups. Now you have a star rookie in Cade Cunningham. The Red Wings, star rookies in Sider, Raymond. The Detroit Tigers, now they have a top manager. You went from Leland. You had a down cycle. Now you're with A.J. Hinch. Excellence. Rebounding, fighting, becoming a good team. That's what Detroit sports is. That's what it's always been. Except for one team that people can't stop defending.
Listen,
I just want to say this about Jim Caldwell.
Let's hear it.
When he got fired, did he, quote-unquote, deserve to get fired? After a 9-7 year, I have to look at it and say, you know what? On paper, no. But if any of you used any common sense, they blew the game that would have gotten them into the playoffs. They had blown games historically under Caldwell.
You'd have to be following him to understand.
I don't want to bring up his record against winning teams.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring up his playoff record, his playoff decisions, his coaching decisions, his time management, his use of timeouts, clock management, whatever you want to say. At the end of the day, when you have a GM and you gave him the reins to your franchise, when he says, that is my guy, you get him. Because if it works, you're set for a long time. And if it doesn't, you get rid of both of them. Quinn was not waiting around another year to get Matt Patricia. Now, was that the right decision? Guys, it's not about if it
Hindsight
was the
2020.
right... No, it's not even about hindsight. Even at the time, a lot of people were questioning it, to be fair. But having said that, that was the GM's guy and the GM's choice. And that's why he's not the GM anymore. So that is why Jim Caldwell got fired. Not because he wasn't a good man. He was a great man. Very polite, well-spoken, quiet at times. But he wasn't all that football coach. And I don't want to hear how excellent he was. I don't. Sorry. You know what excellence is? Starting off your first 2 seasons 13-3, going to 2 NFC championship games. In a 10-year stretch, winning 6 divisions. How about you do that? How about in a 4-year stretch, you get to the playoff 3 times, 2 times, win a few divisions. Not sneaking in on the wild card in the last spot and getting your ass kicked. Have an expectation. Have a standard. That's why Caldwell got fired. It was the wrong move to hire Patricia, absolutely. But the move, the theory, the concept behind the move, guys, was correct. We want to take this to the next level. Unfortunately for the Lions, they did not understand what they had. That team was not a Super Bowl contending team. That wasn't bringing a new head coach, Mark Jackson, Steve Kerr, and you become a Super Bowl contender. No, that was a team that needed retooling and better coaching. And it got neither. It got torn apart and it got worse coaching. And that's why we're here in 2021. Jeff?
And I think people underrated, this is another thing I always look at, is the team was regressing. And you brought up a great point. And I think Jim Caldwell, after he made his exit from the Lions after the 2017 season, he was hired. Obviously, he did the XFL thing. He was on the committee. And then he actually was interviewed by multiple teams. December of 2018, Green Bay Packers interviewed then. That was when they hired Matt LaFleur. That was after they fired Mike McCarthy. He also interviewed for the New York Jets and the Cleveland Browns. Then he, for a short period of time, was with Brian Flores. He had opportunities, and I'm a big Judd Caldwell guy in terms of just being a fan of him. Obviously, I get the firing. That's not what I'm here to argue, but him as a person, him as a coach. But I get the premise of Bob Quinn. I get it. You're a GM of a new team, and you have a coach in place that is not your guy. And you see it all around the league. It's not even just the Detroit Lions. Coaches get fired. And luckily this year, it was a little weird because, you had Brad Holmes get brought in. You had Dan Campbell get brought in. So at the same time, it wasn't like Brad Holmes really had necessarily a choice. But with Bob Quinn, he had a choice. He got rid of Jim Caldwell. It's really, and you nailed it on the head, it's who he's brought in after that kind of makes the argument. Like now people want to argue we should have kept Jim Caldwell because of how bad Matt Patricia was. But if you were a home run on the next coach, everyone would be agreeing.
They
mutually.
made awful decisions, Quinn Tricia. It was really bad. And I'm sorry to quote Kalen in the chat. You are pointing out mistakes made by every coach in the NFL. His leadership and the players' respect is what made him a good coach. Missing pieces on the roster would have gotten him over the hump.
But those pieces walked out.
He walked in to a pretty damn near complete roster.
Yeah.
There's no roster in the NFL that all 22 are complete, full. I mean, outside of the Bucs last year, which was ridiculous, even this year. But still, that's never the case in the NFL. He walked in to one of the best rosters, one of the best defensive fronts, one of the most dynamic passing games. Stop it. He was not a good coach. Let me rephrase it, because that's not fair. He wasn't an exceptional coach, even great. He was just good. He was middle of the pack, can win you games. He ain't winning you a division. He ain't winning you a playoff game. He ain't getting you to the Super Bowl.
I want to get over the hump, that hump.
And you call it culture changing. if I recall correctly, and please somebody in the chat correct me, when they went 9-7 their last year, if I recall, I may be wrong, it was either 6 or 7 games that they won from behind in the fourth quarter on a last-minute comeback against teams under 500. Somebody correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, please.
Yep, they did. On the last streak of that season, they won. They snapped like
and then they lost
7
to the
out of their
Bengals,
10. Yeah.
if I recall. And
yep.
they blew their opportunity.
They did.
To get to the playoffs.
Yep.
Everyone says Quinn wanted his guy. You couldn't have fired. He was going to get fired Caldwell either way. If Caldwell makes the playoffs and actually wins a playoff game,
how do you fire him?
You don't fire him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Caldwell is just as responsible. Caldwell was always going to be fired, no matter what. Mm-hmm. And look, guys, it's not like he's some horrible... He's not Matt Patricia. He's not even Urban Meyer. I'm not associating him with that. Like, I actually do respect Jim Caldwell. What I refuse to do is elevate him because the crappy standard that we have in this town about the football team. We have really good standards for our basketball team, our baseball team, our hockey team. But when it comes to the football team, we coddle it. We protect it from criticism. We protect it from expectation because all we know is losing over 58 years.
Right.
That's unacceptable to me.
And I think
Adam, you weren't in the room. It's not the wins and losses back then. It was at the Lions locker room. Listen, I hear George Bell talk about culture and locker room every single day on BDE. Every single day, 11 to 1. He will admit on camera that, yes, the culture was really good, but we were never fully prepared. We never had all the details, the little things figured out.
There you go.
We never learned from our mistakes. He was a good coach, and the difference between being good and great in life is the little things. That is why Jim Caldwell got fired. And the Lions, for the first time in a long time, had the mindset, we want to upgrade. We want to go to the next level. And we believe that Caldwell got us in a good spot right now. 40 years, 3 winning seasons. I believe what? 11-5, 7-9, 9-7, 9-7.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep. Correct.
He got us into this zone of we're a balanced football team. This is how we get rid of the same old Lions narrative. Now we need to build on it. We need to deliver a division, deliver playoff wins. Okay, how do we do that? We got to upgrade a head coach. They totally botched it. But they dared. They dared. They made the decision to be better. They took the risk. And it failed. It totally did. But I can respect any of you at home taking a risk and a chance to be great and falling on your knees. I'd rather be there to pick you up when you fell taking that chance than watching you sit over there accepting mediocrity.
Yeah.
Sorry. I refuse to do it. I would never do it.
Definitely.
It's not in my DNA.
And I think Nolan hit it right on the head. I think the overall summary of this is Jim Caldwell, if you want to, build a culture and win some games, then Jim Caldwell's your guy. If you want to consistently win divisions, compete for a Super Bowl, Jim's not the guy you're looking for. And he brought up a great point, like back in Indy when he went 14-2. They didn't win the Super Bowl that year. So, you know what I mean? It's the conversation is interesting. It's never a win, or no one's going to win this argument. Because
that's not true, Kalen. I'm sorry. Kalen?
What did Kalen say?
I like you. I like you a lot.
The only way you elevate
here every
a good
morning,
coach,
you engage with everybody in the
him
chat.
a better
You're really
roster.
kind.
Come on.
The only way you elevate a good coach is to get him a better roster. That is not true. That is not true.
You can't coach. You're not that good. You're not that
Guys,
good.
we're not talking about a good coach wanting a good coach. Caldwell was a good coach. When you want to win divisions over an 8-year span, divisions, playoff wins, plural. You want to get to a title game, and maybe, dare I say, a Super Bowl. You need a great coach and a good roster. You can do it. A great coach and a great roster? Let's book it. And then a good coach with a great roster and a great quarterback, you can overcome. Yes, I can agree there. Bruce Arians, he's a very good coach. Tom Brady makes them all great. Holds them all to a different standard. That's the exception, the anomaly. So I don't want to hear it. Culture change. Culture change. Guys, culture is important. Believe me, I preach it every day at Woodward Sports. It's one of the most important things you can do at a company. If you don't have a culture, you have nothing. If you don't have a team environment where people want to see each other succeed and work for each other to see them succeed, you have nothing. And when you're the Lions and you're kind of succeeding, but you're missing the little things that make you great, sorry, I don't accept average. I'm not a fan of it. I've watched Scotty Bowman growing up. Even Mike Babcock, who obviously turned out to be really annoying and a crappy human, but we can look past that. I've seen excellence. The Tigers under Leland, excellence. Granted, they never delivered in the championship game. Yes, they never won a World Series. But damn it, you couldn't say they didn't try. And they didn't get close. And they didn't get there. Can't say that about the Pistons. Won the chip in 04. Lost in Game 7 in 05. 5, 6, 7 straight Eastern Conference Finals after that. Here's the bar for 3 other teams. And then the bar's right here for one of them. And it's sad. Because this is such a beautiful sports town. And they know their sports. But when it comes to the football team, everybody makes exceptions. Nobody wants to say the truth about the football team. Nobody. Nobody wants to admit that we've coddled. We've accepted losing because that is in our DNA as Lions fans. Don't accept it. No, I'm not saying you Lions fans can change the team. You can't make the decisions. You're not the GMs. No. But when you publicly have an expectation of, listen, we want to be a respectful and a respectable football franchise. We don't want to be buddy-buddy with the NFL because we spend hundreds of millions of dollars in advertising for Ford. We want to be a football team. We want to get rid of same old Lions. And I always say this on the show. How do you get rid of same old Lions mentality? Over an 8-10-year period, you've won 3-4 divisions. You've had a few down years. And you've won multiple playoff games. You've gotten to an NFC title game. And dare I say, you've even made it to a Super Bowl. That's culture. That's expectations. That's a standard. That's a winning formula. I'm sorry. Accepting being one of the worst teams in football during a rebuild. Belichick was rebuilding last year. Now, I'm not comparing Belichick to don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to get you guys to really think clearly on what excellence, the standard, looks like. If you have 4 people and you get to chop down a tree and I only have 2 with me and I'm at a disadvantage, I'm going to make sure my 2 are working smarter than your 4. And if we can work smarter than you and we can be more efficient and we can be coached correctly and we can grow and improve, we can chop down that tree faster than you can. Doesn't matter how many people you have. Culture does matter, guys. So does winning. You don't have a culture if you're not winning. And last I checked, 0 divisions in 4 years, 0 playoff wins in 4 years. That's not winning.
Yeah.
Maybe we have a different standard of winning. I don't know, Jeff.
Hopefully that changes. So far, it's looking like we have a chance, but we'll see. We'll see. We got a lot of things to prove from Dan Campbell, but Jim Caldwell, I think that conversation's got to get rested. Finally, it's. I think if I'm the Jacksonville Jaguars, you call. I could name about 4 or 5 guys before Jim Caldwell, and that's no disrespect.
If I asked you to name me right now, give me 4 young NFL head coaches.
Or just possible.
But give me 6. No, head coaches right now. Give me 4, 5, 6, however many you want to name.
Okay.
That you could see potentially being in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, in the Hall of Fame.
Yes. Whoa. Right now, given their trajectory.
Well, Andy Reid, I think.
Oh, no. Young.
Oh, young.
Extremely young.
I don't know. Who is one young? I mean.
I can give you 3 right instantly. Sean McVay. He's
Hall
on
Hall of Fame.
You can see him. I'm not saying he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
no.
I get you.
He can get there.
Got to get it to a Super Bowl.
Right?
Again.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, he's gotten to. But my point is, you can see him coaching 10, 15 years from now, getting into the Hall of Fame.
I like
correct?
Shanahan. I like
you
LaFleur.
like Shanahan. You like
LaFleur.
Yeah. You see the trajectory.
Yeah.
Where have you ever seen that in Detroit? When have you ever had a head coach where you're like, oh my God, we got the new face of the league. We've got the guy. You've never had it. You've never hired a head coach. Ever. To that standard.
True.
To that level. So until you do that, you will piss bad football. You will never piss excellence. That's my Monday. What's today? Thursday? It's my Thursday motivation.
Yes, Thursday.
Don't piss bad football. Piss excellence.
Go piss some excellence.
All right? We got to go to break. When we get back, Red Wings play tonight. Pistons play tonight.
Go Wings.
Go Wings. Go Pistons.
Go Pistons.
I'm excited for it. Get to watch Kate. Get to watch Lucas. I'm all for it. Jeff, tell everybody about our good friends at Guardian Alarm, who I believe all these toys around us, someone's got to protect them, right?
Oh, they do.
Because we leave at night.
We do. And we got all these toys around us, tons of toys for all the kids, and Guardian Alarm does a good job protecting it. They get it. Good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. And Guardian Alarm has state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home, control lights and temperatures, or even detect smoke or carbon monoxide. It will even let you lock and unlock doors. Call this number, 800-STAY-OUT today. That's 800-STAY-OUT today. Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90 years at keeping families safe, especially around Christmas time. You're going to get gifts. Call Guardian Alarm.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Good morning, everybody. 8:46 here on the Morning Woodward Show. Beautiful day in downtown Birmingham. A lot of wind, though. The weather was nice. It was warmer than I expected.
Yeah.
But the wind, got me good this morning. All right, guys. Red Wings play tonight against one of, if not the best team in hockey, the Carolina Hurricanes. Jeff, I'm a big fan of the over 5.5.
Yes.
I'm probably taking it tonight, and I'm thinking the Hurricanes cover it by themselves.
Definitely. And we've seen how the Red Wings, they lost, one out of the last 3, or they've won 1 out of the last 4, rather. And the Hurricanes are on the road today, and that's kind of where my worry is. I think the Carolina Hurricanes be able to cover. Definitely. Should be. Would you say 5.5 over that? They probably get 3-4 by themselves.
I see Carolina scoring 5, and that's
5's
without an empty netter.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
I really do.
So you're
sorry.
basically a lock.
They're so good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Grice is in net tonight or Nedeljkovic. If it's Nedeljkovic, good luck, man. Hope you have a good game.
Yeah, right.
But Carolina's so good.
Yeah. No, 19-7-1. They're a good team.
They're literally them. Washington, I think they're probably the top 2 teams. I think the Avalanche are still a top 3 team, even though the record wouldn't say that.
Yep.
But it's going to be an interesting night for the Wings. It really is.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot to deal with. Sebastian Aho.
Yeah.
What's his stats right now? He's got 15 goals, 17 assists. He's leading his team in goals, assists, and points in total. So Wings are going to have their hands full. So you know what? If you had to give a prediction tonight, hopefully they hold on. And Nedeljkovic, like you said, Grice probably will be playing tonight. So I'm not confident about their chances, but I think it'll be a good game. High scoring, like you said. So either way, you're in for a treat. Hopefully Lucas Raymond, he got a point last game. Let's get a goal. I'm going to watch these young guys. That's the plan tonight. Same with the Pistons. They're probably not going to win against the Pacers, but hopefully...
No, you hope they beat the Pacers. The Pacers are basically shopping everybody on their team except the owner.
But at least they are playing. All those guys, they're shopping. So, yeah. But you are right. Honestly, the Pistons should play them tonight. Give them a phone call. See who they're looking to trade and what they're looking to trade for.
Sabonis, you like him? I like
Sabonis. I think that's a piece you look at, definitely.
If you can trade Grant, but they want capital probably. They want picks.
Yeah.
And the Pistons aren't in a position where they're going to give up picks because they're in that same build mindset as the Pacers. So I don't know if that Grant trade is going to work out with them, but if they could find a way to get Sabonis, I would be willing to move off Killian Hayes for him. I know it's early, and that maybe seem a bit extreme.
For Sabonis?
Yeah, but
you're not crazy for that.
Well, I know, but Sabonis early in terms of the kid still needs time to develop.
Definitely,
that's where I'm going with it. But I would absolutely send Killian Hayes away right now for Sabonis. Guys, the call-in number is 313-552-6322. By the way, I see D-Mac put it in the chat.
Hold on. Let me put my headphones on here.
If you guys want to call in and chime in, ask questions, be our guests. But I'm telling you guys. Jack, call in. I haven't heard your voice yet. You talk a lot in the chat. Would love to hear your voice. Call in anytime, buddy. You're more than welcome. But I like Sabonis. Again, I'm going to reiterate it. And people may not like it, especially the young Pistons fans that want to see Killian develop. You give me Sabonis with Cade Cunningham, and I somehow keep Jeremy Grant, let's say, and they don't trade him, and then I have Saddiq Bey. That's a damn good basketball team.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a balanced basketball team.
Definitely. And that you're given, again, like we were saying this whole time, we've been preaching it for weeks. Give Cade Cunningham, I mean, you want shooting, but Sabonis can shoot from three-point range. You want just guys who can put the ball in the basket. And Jeremy Grant, I mean, we could say what we want about him, decent player. If you add more stars, maybe that Jeremy Grant's role decreases a little bit. And I love Sabonis, man. I mean, that's a consistent all-star every year. And if the Pistons are going to phone anybody and inquire about anybody, I would rather have Sabonis over Miles Turner, Karis LeVert, just in terms of where he is as a player. And we need front court depth. I mean, we need a power forward / center, and I'll take Sabonis any day of the week. Miles Turner I would like too, but no, Sabonis, he's the first.
I think Sabonis is the prize, right?
The prize, definitely. He's if you're calling the team, you're asking about Sabonis, and then you're like, all right, well, what about Miles Turner? And then you're kind of working down the list, but it always starts with Sabonis, and we'll see. Detroit Weaver is I mean, listen, I give him credit. He's able to make moves. He made a ton of transactions his first year, and he hasn't really made any the last couple months. So other than obviously he got signed to Kelly Olynyk, but this is a big test, really. I want to see how he does really in season before the trade deadline. We'll see if he wants to really make improvements now, or he's like, hey, suck this year again, and we'll address it in the draft. I'm interested to see his approach, because his approach will tell you a lot about where he thinks this team is.
Yeah, guys, look, I know Sabonis doesn't play great defense, and I'm totally willing to accept that. Go find me players in the NBA that actually play defense. There's like maybe a handful, especially at that position. Stop.
Right.
Sabonis, good scorer, rebounder, can facilitate.
Mm-hmm.
An almost complete player. I like it. Stop overcomplicating things. We need it. That's what Isaiah Stewart's for. You know what Isaiah Stewart doesn't offer your basketball team? Putbacks on a consistent basis.
Right.
A post game. Ability to rebound and facilitate. Sabonis does. Sorry. If you can trade Killian Hayes and they're willing to accept it for Sabonis, I'm all for it. What do you think?
Oh, I'm loving it. And I want to hear, Fish, you have someone right now?
We sure do. We have Mr. Justin Spiro, who's ready to talk some Detroit Pistons, and he is on the air.
What's up, Justin?
You guys are so beautiful. I do miss Kennedy, but that hair you have is just fantastic.
Yeah, look, I told him he can't wear hats anymore. Once there was that whole dispute on Twitter, we made sure he's not allowed to wear hats moving forward.
Yeah, it's taken off. It's off of it.
It's a shame that it was ever allowed to go on this long. It's a travesty. It kept me up for a lot of nights, but I'm getting over it. Look, I'm fan ears, Adam, but you said something crazy today.
Yeah.
You would consider a Killian Hayes for Sabonis swap? The only reason I would have any pause at all is because it would spoil the tank that's on right now in full force. That's the only reason. Killian Hayes can't play. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yep.
I was all aboard. Give him a chance. It's too soon to pull the plug. He's not good. Sabonis, 25 years old, almost 7 feet tall, very good player, no-brainer. The only reason, again, not to do it is it might make him a little bit too good this year. We want that top 3 pick again.
I still think they move Grant, Justin. I think that move is going to happen regardless. Yeah, man, look, I think if they get Sabonis, they're going to be a much better basketball team, a more complete basketball team. I just don't think the way the team is set up now, they're set up to win. I see Cade as the obviously alpha star. Saddiq Bey is in a slump. I can't even explain how or why. He can't hit a 3 if his life depended on it. And yeah, Killian is just not it. Sorry, when you take a guy at 7, you're expecting an all-star, and he isn't. And he may develop into a 9 on a bench, a number 9, maybe an 8.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what you're looking at. I mean, frankly, and I'm with you on the Jeremy Grant thing. I think they waited too long to do it, frankly, but I want him gone, not because he did anything wrong. He's a good player. I think it's for the betterment of the Pistons. And at this point, this season's lost. We all understand that. So we need one more elite chip. I mean, whether it's Holmgren, whether we get Poncheros from Duke, I mean, whoever it is.
Right.
somebody else.
What's the NBA comp on Holmgren? I'm so interested to see who you name right here. Who's his comp? In your opinion?
The guy this skinny.
Are you worried about his frame? Because that's something I look at with Chet a little bit.
Yeah, well, Holmgren, I mean, I don't know. You guys might weigh the same, Jeff. I will have to get the scale out.
Don't do me like that,
close.
Justin.
We probably weigh the same. He's just like 10 inches taller than me.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, I know. Jeff, that's going to be neck and neck for a pound or two either way, one direction. But I don't know. I can't remember a guy like Holmgren, to be honest, because we've seen sort of the bean pole guys before, like Sean Bradley back in the day. But, I mean, Bradley didn't have anywhere near Holmgren's skill. He was just a straight-up block guy. So it's like,
right.
I can't remember a guy that looked like this. I even looked up Kevin Durant's weight. I mean, I know their games are very different. But even Kevin Durant had like 35 pounds on this guy at Texas. So I don't know what comp is. I like him, though.
So here's my future prediction. I don't think Chet comes out of the draft this year. I think he stays at Gonzaga. I think he's a 3-year guy. And I think he's really going to build himself. And I think that's his best move. Maybe 2 years, maybe 3 is too much. But I don't see him coming out at his weight. Because you're talking 3-4. He's going to be Giannis, basically. He's going to come in as a superstar talent. You're not going to get immediate production from him. And it's going to take him 3-4 years to get into his body. And when he builds his body and he's finally in sync with it, he's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to depend what the feedback from the scouts are. Every mock draft I see, which is obviously a non-official, not coming from NBA guys, is he's like top 3 or 4.
Yep.
If he's getting that kind of feedback, who was the last guy projected to go that high that went back? I mean, Patrick Ewing?
Right. You got to go.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I just, we talked about this with Juwan Howard. Now that he's elevated to Michigan into this, we're going to recruit top players every year. You kind of run the risk of a one-and-done program, a program that doesn't have fluid basketball program. You're not the same team every year. And with Gonzaga, I see them as a team that has 3-4-year guys year in, year out. And with Chet, I wouldn't surprise me if he went back, even if he is a top pick. If he's going to listen to the people around him, depending on what they're telling him, I'm sure he's going to get a crap ton of money from the NBA.
Definitely.
But having said that, hey, man, do you want to go to the NBA and not play right away, or do you want to stay at Gonzaga, be the #1 overall pick next year, and probably gain another 25, 30 pounds, and you'll look much better?
I mean, there's an argument for it. I don't know his family situation. If he comes from a good financial situation, that changes the calculus a little bit. But, if you're more of a middle-class family, middle-class background, and you have a guaranteed $8 million contract sitting there, I think it's the first overall pick. It's like 10 now.
Yep.
It's just that's tough. But I don't know. I know who it won't be. It won't be Imani Bates up there in the top 3. That guy can't play either, by the way.
They beat Bama the other day, didn't they? I see you. I see you on Twitter War every day about it.
Adam, I have 3 beautiful children. They've been eating ramen noodles the last 48 hours because I can't buy any food after betting the farm on Alabama money line. But so I'll forgive Memphis for that. By the way, that had nothing to do with Bates. Bates played 15 minutes in that game with like 1 for 4 shooting with 3 turnovers. He stinks. But
is he even eligible this year?
To add. What's up?
Is he even eligible this year to be drafted, Imani Bates?
No, he's not.
Yeah, it's 1 more year.
But I just had to find any excuse to take a shot at him. So.
You just had to throw a shot out there.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, they have to add somebody big. But Killian Hayes, look, I was with your colleague Neil Rule on my show talking about, like, look, it's way too early to bury Killian Hayes. He was hurt. He had the hip issue. I'm off him, like, nothing personal, Killian, but, like, I'm just off. Like, I'm good. I'm all set on him.
I don't know. I look at history. What does history tell me? Players that took late to develop, like Steph, Damian, Lillard, even, for example, Giannis, some of these star players, and that's what you're expecting out of a #7 pick. And then you look at probably players that had a similar comp, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell. They came and developed right away. They played right away.
Made an impact.
And then there's other guys that at least showed signs of, I can shoot. I have a jump shot. I can get to the paint. And with Killian, I have too many question marks. So, yeah, I'm moving him for Sabonis. I think it improves the team so much. It does affect the tank season, but I'm telling you, man, you get a guy like Sabonis, Cade Cunningham, I like the sound of that team. I really do.
I'm with you, man. Like I said, the only reason is it would ruin the tank, but it's a pure basketball trade. It's a no-brainer. So I'll let you guys get back to it, man. Great show. I'm a big fan, and I'm going to be watching the rest
Thanks,
of the
Justin. We appreciate you for calling in, man. Take care.
We'll see you guys. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. That was Justin Spiro calling in, guys. He's a good guy, man. I love him, too. We got to go to break. When we get back, what can the Lions, or excuse me, actually, we got the MVP race in the NBA.
We do.
MVP race in the NBA. Jeff is going to break down who he thinks should be the front runner. I think it's Steph. Whether you agree or not, we'll see.
Okay.
We got to do that after the break when we get back. But before we go, I got to tell you about our good friends at the Folding Warehouse, guys. The Folding Warehouse in Hamtramck. There's no better place to be. Whether you want to host your corporate event, team building party, whatever it may be, you want to go with family and friends. Doesn't matter. It's a great time. Woodward Sports was down there a few weeks ago. We had a company all in. It was such a great time. We had some of our good friends that support the network there as well. We had so much fun. There's two ways to play. They're $10 unlimited open play, and of course, a private lane reservation that hosts up to 10 people for $120 for 2 hours. They have over 100 beers, a $2 Mystic beer machine, and multiple bars throughout the facility. You can bring your own food or have it delivered in. Guys, check it out. That's the Folding Warehouse in Hamtramck. Visit foldingwarehouse.com. That's foldingwarehouse.com.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
All right, welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show. I'm taking over for the meantime. I'm going to talk about the MVP race because it's important. We got to talk about the NBA MVP race because there's a couple guys in it, really two to me, and I'm going to talk about really break each of them down. So, I mean, the favorite, Adam mentioned it earlier, Stephen Curry. And obviously, we know Stephen Curry, the Warriors' best team in the Western Conference, maybe in the NBA in general. And the Suns are creeping on him, though. But still. And I want to talk about why Steph Curry, I know he's the favorite pretty much everywhere to win MVP. And the stats, what is he, 26, 27 points a game. Efficiency isn't like we're used to seeing, mainly because he is the guy on the Warriors. He's taking double the shots to the next guy. But Stephen was my MVP winner for a majority of this from this beginning of the season. Just watching him, his impact on the floor, no Klay Thompson, no James Wiseman. So I get it. But the conversation becomes interesting when we start to look over in Brooklyn and you look at a guy like Kevin Durant, who, listen, the Warriors 23-5, Brooklyn Nets 20-8, and I want to ask you this: this year, what's the better conference, West or the East? And I'll walk you through. In my opinion, I think this year it's close. It's pretty close. It isn't like the West is always dominating like it used to be. They're both the West and the East are both two tough conferences this year, and the Nets are number one, ahead of the Bucks, ahead of the Bulls, ahead of the Miami Heat. And Kevin Durant is leading the NBA in scoring. He's averaging, I believe, 29.5 points a game. James Harden, I think they're missing 7 to 8 players with COVID. COVID-riddled roster, no Kyrie Irving. James Harden doesn't look like James Harden. He was out last game, and I watched him play the Pistons. I was at the game. Watched Kevin Durant drop 50 on us, I believe. It was around somewhere in the 50 range. Watched it live, every bucket. And you start to understand and be like, wow. Not only is he more efficient than Steph, not only, it seems he had a triple-double the other night. I mean, he is carrying this Nets squad. You could argue, make a real case that the Warriors around Steph right now, I get they have James Harden on the Nets. Without James Harden, who has a better roster? I would take the Warriors. Jordan Poole, they have pieces there. The Nets, if they get Kyrie back, the conversation might change. But in my opinion, right now, more efficient. Obviously, he has overall efficiency all over the field. I mean, he's shooting similar from three-point range, shooting around 55% from the field. And he's a big reason why the Nets are in the position they're in. So to me, Kevin Durant is my MVP. But Steph, I don't think it's over for Steph. I think, listen, it's a close race. It's a two-man race. And with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson's expected to return, I think, in around 10 days, around Christmas time. Kyrie Irving, you saw the Instagram video. God, Kyrie Irving. If Adam was here, we'd shred him. But Kyrie Irving putting on his sneakers in the one Instagram story. I don't know if he's going to get vaccinated or he's going to play all away games. I don't know his plan, ideally. But if he's back, obviously it's going to take some scoring. It's going to take, having the ball in Kevin Durant's hands out. But right now, I don't know how you can't say Kevin Durant's your MVP. Better stats, and I'm not just a stat guy. Impact on the floor. And I get Stephen Curry, take him off the Warriors, what are they? But you can make the same case for the Nets. And James Harden, I don't know what the hell happened to James Harden. Listen, if you watch the NBA, James Harden, this year, with the ref changes and now, it's offensive players can't draw fouls like they used to. And James Harden, that was his game a year or two ago. And that's how what was he shooting free throw wise? Like 15 a game. Now he's at like 4, 5, whatever it is. So that's hurt James Harden. But to me, Kevin Durant or Steph Curry. And I like the Chris Paul. I really do. I like the Chris Paul, especially now that Devin Booker's out the lineup and the Suns look so good. I would take Chris Paul probably the back end of that race. Giannis, he's missing some games due to the COVID protocols, so that's going to be a tough pitch to really pitch him for it. But, like I said, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and Chris Paul. That's really it's a 2, maybe 3-man race, and Steph has a good case. He does. If they keep winning games, we'll see how the record, finishes at the end of the season. We can really look at the Nets, look at the Warriors. But in terms of efficiency, impact on the floor, and just what he's been able to do watching this guy, watching Kevin Durant, he's averaging more points per game this year since when he averaged 32 points a game back in Oklahoma City Thunder. It's a career high in points in the last 5-6 years. He's doing things for his career that hasn't been done in a long time. And the fact that he's doing that off of the Achilles injury last year, and now he's doing things, the Nets are winning. I got to give him this guy credit. I really have to. And so I'm not going to sit here and say, look, he's the best 7-foot forward I've ever seen. I couldn't agree with you more. In terms of, I will say Kevin Durant this, in terms of legacy, I'll give you the Larry Birds. I'll give you, the LeBron Jameses right now, but Kevin Durant is the best scorer. Michael Jordan is to me, but I think Kevin Durant is a case. 7 foot, can make a shot anywhere on the court. He's up there for best scorers of all time, and it's arguable. So that's kind of the MVP race to me. You break it down. You got 3 guys in it, 2 guys that are heavy favorites. If you go on my bookie right now, Stephen Curry's a plus 105 favorite to Kevin Durant's plus 275. And then you got Giannis, obviously, plus 530. But I saw a post the other day bringing up Nikola Jokic. I want to hear your guys' opinion. If it's not Chris Paul, Steph Curry, or Kevin Durant, anybody disagree? Do we have any Jokic fans? I heard the Jokic thing getting brought up. But I really do. I believe it's 3 guys, and we're going to see, down the stretch of games, last, 30, 40 games, see if Kyrie comes back. We'll see, if Harden flips a switch and doesn't look like Fat Suit Harden back in Houston again. And we'll see if Steph Curry, with the return of Klay Thompson, James Wiseman, can keep the play. Because, listen, Steph Curry, he just broke the 3-point record the other night. So I'm not going to sit here and crap on Steph Curry. The guy is a legend. But the efficiency, people want to say he's having a great season. He has 27 points. The efficiency isn't like we used to been seeing from Steph Curry. He's shooting around low 40s from the field. I think for the first time in his career, he's just under 40% from 3. So it's an interesting conversation. So I got to hear you guys' opinions on this, because am I wrong? It's good.
I didn't even hear what you said.
Oh, I just made a pretty good case for Kevin Durant. Not gonna lie to you. And I said Steph's in it though. I'm not saying he's not in it, but hey. It's gonna come down to some things.
KD's your MVP?
He is it's close, but I think Kevin Durant's slightly above.
Give me the top 3.
I think it's Kevin,
okay,
and Curry right behind him, and then I'll give Chris Paul. I like Chris Paul in the third race.
I like that. Thank you. I thought I was gonna surprise you with that pick. Never mind.
No, those 3.
Because I thought you were gonna say Jokic.
Jokic is in there, top 5 maybe. But
Jokic should be in an MVP conversation because of what he did to the Morris brother. That was amazing.
Definitely.
Sorry, I know people don't like it. I loved it. But having said that, sorry. Let's get back on track here. MVP, Steph. I'll tell you why. It's not even that the historical landmark that he hit last night. Perspective. How many wins did you expect the Nets to get this year, preseason? Not to I'm not taking away anything.
No, I get you.
I just want to know.
I will say
without
this.
Kyrie.
Oh, without Kyrie. Well,
they're a 50-win team.
Yeah, I'd say
they're
that.
still a 50-win team. They have James Harden and Kevin Durant, who I could argue is the best player in basketball. Okay? The Warriors, playing team last year, I told you they don't get Clay back till January, Wiseman back till January, and they didn't make any significant offseason moves that would make you turn your head.
100%.
What would you say? 38, 42 wins maybe?
I expect him to be in the playoffs.
They're the
somewhere.
number one seed right now.
Yeah, number one seed.
Steph's the MVP. And look, again, I don't disagree with the Kevin Durant MVP crowd. He's making a case for it.
Yeah.
I just think Steph has a better one right now. That could change in a month, 2 months. Totally change. But for me, right now, if I'm handing out the award, it's Steph Curry. Steph Curry's playing at a level beyond anybody in the NBA. And I know KD is coming off, a triple-double the other night. He's a freak of nature. He's unbelievable. And I'm not going to knock anybody in the chat that says KD.
Right.
And I'm not going to kill you for it, because if KD wins the MVP, I'm not going to be mad. He's playing like an MVP.
Right. It's not like...
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're both playing unbelievably great. Yeah, I'm sorry. But for me, I'm giving the vote to Steph. I think what Steph is doing, what are they, 22-5 right now, 23-5, something along those lines. They should not be the one seed in the West. They just shouldn't be. They have no business only losing 5 games to start the year, 28 games in. Steph Curry is playing at a phenomenal rate. I admire the way he plays basketball. KD is just, I think, one of those guys that you play 2K, you make a 7-foot guy, 99 3, 99 dunk, you just give him 99 everything.
Right.
And that's Kevin Durant. And that's not to take away from what he's doing. He's definitely the best player in the NBA right now. But what Steph is doing is MVP-esque worthy. I expected KD to get 50 wins this year, 30 points a game. Steph, we were talking about, would they even make the playoffs? Is Steve Kerr going to get fired? That was the conversation before the season. Best record in the NBA. Best in the West.
Definitely.
Getting Klay Thompson back. Just called up from the G League. Just called up Wiseman. We just saw this happen with Bill Belichick. He took a year off. Half his defense was on the COVID opt-out list. He comes back. They're top of the AFC. And you're like, I got 1 year break from you? That's all you gave me? And you look at the Warriors. They just went through this whole 5-year period of a dynasty.
Yeah.
They take a year off. And then they go back into the playing game. But Klay Thompson hasn't played in those 2 years. And then they start off the 3rd year now. They have the best record in the West. And they're getting Klay Thompson back. Watch out. Watch out for the Warriors.
Let me explain where I'm coming from, because I honestly don't agree. You spoke facts. And Steph Curry, it's hard because the narrative, he's got the narrative as well. Kevin Durant has a narrative, but to your point, you just explained it. I mean, he has a narrative, and Steph Curry really does. With Kevin Durant, if I'm just putting these two players next to each other, and I'm looking at value, Steph Curry, he's valuable for the Warriors. No denying it. I'm just looking at play this year, and to me, with Kevin Durant, all right, he's obviously, I'm not even going to talk about leading the league in scoring, because that's an accomplishment, but I'm not going to just sit here and say he's leading the league in scoring and deserves it. And I'm talking about with James Harden, looking like James Harden, all right, not like we're used to seeing, whatever it is with James Harden. Kevin Durant is a big reason why, and same with Steph, that's why it's so tight. If you had to pick two players, why is the reason these two teams are winning games?
It's because of them.
Them two.
Yeah, I can make that argument too with Jokic.
And it just, I
think Giannis deserves to be in the top 4 or 5.
I agree.
He's playing at a really high level. I just think people have, become a little numb to it. Given he just won a championship, he's already won 2 MVPs, Defensive Player of the Year. You kind of get tired of voting the same guy every year. That's why LeBron doesn't have more MVPs. Having said that, look, to the Kevin Durant narrative, I get it. I really do. He does. If you told me there were 100 votes and people had to pick between Steph and KD,
it's like a 51-49.
51-49. Yeah. I swear to you.
Yeah, I feel you.
And I'm not mad either way. I really am not mad either way. who gets awarded it, I just want to sit up here and make the
you know
argument.
What? Both of them have won once, so it doesn't.
Steph.
Who cares? You know what?
Look,
Give
we're talking from an
MVPs.
impressive scale.
Yeah.
But look, to be fair to KD, he's never led a team the way he's leading the Nets right now.
100%.
Sorry, he was the number 2 on the Warriors. He was number 1 in terms of shooting and scoring and all of that. But the alpha leader,
100%.
the guy that made it all work, was Steph Curry. I'll
agree
go to
with
my
you.
grave with that. The Warriors, remove Steph Curry from the conversation, and you plug in KD, they don't win a single championship over that run. Because that team implodes. They implode. The relationships don't work. KD is not this selfless player. To an extent, he is, but
I get
he's
what you're
not nobody is a selfless player that Steph is. And that's why I have him as my MVP right now. We got to go to break. When we get back, what the hell's going on with COVID, guys? So we shutting this thing down, or
hopefully
is
not.
2020 all over? Not 2020. 2019 all over again?
We're gonna have Tuesday night football again.
What are we doing?
Wednesday night football.
So you can test positive even though you're vaccinated? But the players on the field aren't getting COVID from being on the field? What are we doing here? I don't understand what's going on. I'm actually really confused. I can't wait to talk about
Well,
this.
they're getting it from being around other people.
Yes, but how does that... I think it's ironic that out of all the sports...
The locker room,
the
going
one
to
where
bars,
you hit each other, spit on each other,
restaurants.
fall on each other in piles, that the data is supporting that they aren't getting it on the field?
Yep.
Oof, got a lot to talk about. Got to go to break. Guys, Gypsy Vodka is gluten-free and corn distilled 6 times using artisan spring water. Let me tell you about our good friends. Absolutely, Fish. Our good friends at Gypsy. Support our local brothers, Mike and Adam, Michigan State alumni, born and raised here in the state of Michigan, along with Gypsy Vodka. Try a bottle today. Ask for it by the name of Gypsy. And, of course, as always, please drink responsibly.
It's that time of the year again. Time for our second annual Stuff a Studio with Woodward Sports. Last year, Metro Detroit came together to help make the largest single toy donation in Mott Children's Hospital history. This year, we make it even bigger. Stuff a Studio is happening December 13th through the 17th at the Woodward Sports Studios in Birmingham. The children in Mott Children's Hospital fight so hard all year. Now it's up to all of us to help bring a smile to their faces. So while you're out holiday shopping, make sure you pick up an extra toy or two and help us spread some love to Metro Detroit this season. We look forward to seeing you December 13th through the 17th as we stuff our studio with Woodward Sports and Meyer.
Woodward Sports Network, let's go! Ho, 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 ho!
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Wow, that was a tongue twister. I was thinking about COVID too much.
Woodward Sports! Yeah!
All right, guys, listen. NBA is dealing with a ton of COVID outbreaks. NFL now, we're seeing,
All over,
6,
man.
7 teams have an abundance of COVID issues. What's going on? And what are we doing? I want to know what the professional sports leagues are really doing. So if you're vaccinated and you test positive, I believe there's a 2 to 3 day window where you just need to test negative twice.
Yeah,
within a
correct.
24-hour stretch. Okay, that's fine. But I want to understand how it's being contracted so quickly. And and it's not just in sports, guys. I know so many people right now that are getting the flu, getting the cold, or getting COVID and testing positive for it. It's really tripping me up now. We're in the heart of the football season. Basketball season just started. And we're struggling with this. We're a year in now. We're almost 2 years into COVID, actually.
2 years in March.
What's going on here? What is the standard for you shouldn't play, or you should play, or we should not let these teams play, or we should? I'm not following this rapid spread at the moment. I'm just not. I'm not understanding how there's a rapid spread and how the Rams and the Cardinals right now are not in complete lockdown. Given that the cases that are being reported, this isn't me talking, this is like what's being reported. That Odell Beckham has COVID. A significant amount of the Rams, 16 players have COVID. Well, why don't all the Rams I want to know where the bridge is. And where do you come to a point where you have to say, all right, are we going to let these guys play more? Are we going to jeopardize the season? Which they're not. And I don't want to hear that, oh, they're going to move games and cancel. No, too much money involved, guys. Sorry. So for the crowd that says you got to put a stop to it, not going to happen. Sorry. Billions of dollars, not happening. Players aren't dying from it. So the vaccine is technically working. But now do you mandate it in these sports leagues, which is what the NFL is considering, I believe, for Tier 1 employees? I don't know what the solution is. I am not a doctor.
Right.
I'm not a public health official.
Just need an explanation.
All I'm asking, and maybe the chat does have the answer for it. All I'm asking is, what is the correct way to go about this? Given that it's not only spreading in the sports league, the numbers are up, not only just COVID cases, sickness cases. People are getting the cold, flu. People's immune systems are really struggling this time of year right now. Yep. I was even sick a few weeks ago.
And everyone's going home to their family, going back to their families.
Where are we getting at right now? So we need boosters, which, look, you're going to pitch a vaccine to the public. A lot of them are going to like it. A lot of them are going to hate it. And when you pitch a vaccine and then you got to do one booster and then a second and now you're pitching a third, I'm not saying you're wrong. This is new data. You found better ways to attack it. Great. Having said that, how much public trust matters too. Like, people are questioning you now. Well, the original vaccine, now I need a booster and then a second and then a third, but I can still test positive. I want answers. That's all. I'm not questioning either side. I just want better answers to understand what Odell Beckham testing positive means for the Rams and the Cardinals. If it means nothing, why the hell is this a story? And if it means something, I'd like to know. I don't have that answer. I really don't.
I think it's an issue, especially, since Monday, I think it's 100 players in the NFL have tested positive for COVID. And that is a crap ton. And if you look at, listen, the NFL last year went through those problems. Obviously, it's the iconic, what was it, Tuesday or Wednesday night game, whatever it was, that was, rescheduled. You had some Saturday games. This Saturday, speaking of Saturday games, you got the Browns this Saturday. No Kevin Stefanski, no Baker Mayfield. And Roger Goodell, now they're having the conversation, do they have to even enhance the protocols more? And what do teams do now that you have 8 or 9 teams in the, they call it the extreme protocols, where, the usual protocols, it's one step above that. The Lions are in one of those teams included, where, even vaccinated players, vaccinated staff, you got to wear masks. They're doing separate workouts, whatever the case may be. It's starting to become an issue. And I'm curious to see what happens playoff time. Because it's okay to, maneuver the regular season. They haven't done it yet, but if they have to, they would. What happens come playoff time? I'm curious. If players aren't available for games due to COVID, if a quarterback tests positive for COVID, what happens on the Super Bowl date if someone tests positive? There's so many things that, not aside from the NHL, which they have their own issues as well, the NBA as well. The NBA's taken a hit, a big hit, and most of their league, I think 80-95% of the league in the NBA is vaccinated, and they're still having issues.
What kills me, somehow, some way, during the Super Bowl and the NBA Finals, nobody had COVID. There was no outbreak. Mm-hmm. We're in the regular season right now. It's spurring up. What's going to happen come playoff time? Matthew Stafford gets COVID. Aaron Rodgers gets COVID.
Reschedule.
Tom Brady gets COVID. Then what? You going to reschedule or you going to play? I'm really curious. None of this is really adding up to me, because the way we're going about it right now is we're kind of turning a blind eye to it. At least the sports leagues are, which I don't blame them. I'm trying to make money here. $1 billion entity. Mm-hmm. I want my football. Sorry, America, if you don't like that. I want to watch football. Sorry, I'm a man. I have a simple brain. My brain functions one way: Monday, Thursday, Sunday. And late in the year, Saturdays. And then during college football, Saturdays. That's how my brain works. I'm not a public health official. All I'm asking is I want to keep my football. I'd like to keep basketball. And if you guys could explain to me what the hell is going on, I would appreciate that. Because I don't like seeing 16 COVID outbreaks on a given team, and yet they're somehow expected to go play on Sunday. Those 16 players were in contact with every person on that roster and almost every person in that facility. Come on. So is it now that you can test positive but not have the symptoms? Is it now that the testing isn't as efficient because maybe there's a different strain and now you're testing positive for something else? Or guys, this is why I'm asking questions. Nothing is clear. I don't want to see another bubble.
No.
Sorry. Not interested.
And the NBA had...
I'm going to the LCA in January. Sorry.
The NBA had problems during the playoffs last year. The NFL was lucky. I mean, we didn't see a whole lot, last year, and that was the...
Lucky or good at hiding it. One of the two.
Okay. Good point.
I'm just saying.
Good point.
I'm not jeopardizing my product because of a COVID case where I have most of the league vaccinated, which has been proven 0% kill rate if you're vaccinated. Unless I think the off cases of people older than 65, whatever the number is, I don't know. But people in the NFL are in very good shape. None of them are dying, and they're vaccinated, and they have gotten COVID. All right? So the product technically is safe. So what are we doing? What are we protecting against? The spread? Okay, can kind of get behind that. But how can you protect against the spread when you just had a Monday Night Football game? And there are now 16 players. But the NFL is saying, no. We have not had a single player test positive on the field after a game from on-the-field interactions. Is it because of the oxygen, the air? I don't know. Again, do I look like a public health official? I'm wearing a Nike shirt. I'm talking into a microphone 8 to 10 every morning about sports. I am not the guy to get your public health information from. Having said that, I have questions.
Like a lot of sports fans. I mean,
I have questions. I don't want my football taken away from me. I just don't. I'm a selfish man. I'm sorry. I'm a really selfish human being. Excuse me. I want my football.
I think that's an interesting point you brought up earlier about like what happens if I couldn't imagine last year. Imagine Tampa Bay versus Kansas City in Tampa, and Tom tests positive. Like imagine the effects of that. You think they would immediately? I mean, you reschedule? I mean, what do you do?
You don't reschedule. You play. Unfortunately,
you have Blaine Gabbert get in there.
Teams.
Yeah, I mean.
It kills the product. I mean, you want to talk about integrity? Look, I know the Lakers won that year in the bubble, and the Heat got to the final, but that was a really bad look. It just was. It didn't make sense. Nothing added up about the whole bubble.
Yeah.
The NFL doesn't want it. But anyways, we got to go to break. That was an interesting conversation. Still so many questions left unanswered. And it's frustrating. It must be frustrating as a sports fan. We got to go to break. When we get back, oh, man, this is going to be good. I like this. What can the Lions expect on Sunday from the Arizona Cardinals without DeAndre Hopkins? We'll get to that next. Jeff, could you tell us all about our current Stuff a Studio promotion, please?
Woodward Sports is doing something great, along with the help of Guardian Alarm and Meyer. And we present to you Stuff a Studio. You see the toys behind me. It's a great cause. All week, you'll have the opportunity. If you want, if you feel like going and helping a kid have a nice Christmas, you come into the studio, you visit us, you have a conversation with us, you drop off some toys. And it's going to go to a good cause. They're collecting toys for Mott's Children's Hospital. And if you want to find out where to go with your toys, you come to 34915 Woodward Ave, Birmingham. And it's December 13th to the 17th, ends at the end of this week, and it really helps all children who have been in the hospital all year to really have a holiday they deserve. And you see the toys, it is just awesome what we're doing over here at Woodward Sports. I mean, Guardian Alarm, Meyer, the kids are going to have a great Christmas this year. And last year, Woodward Sports donated over $70,000 in toys to Mott's Children's Hospital with the help of Kelly Stafford. But this year, we're trying to break it. So come help Woodward Sports, help Guardian Alarm, help Meyer, our great partners, and the power of our supporters to stuff our studio full of toys. Come on over to Woodward Sports, the studio here in Birmingham, 34915 Woodward Avenue. Come drop off toys. Help out these children.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Did you know mortgage rates are still at generational lows? If you haven't refinanced your home loan yet, there's still time. Now is your second chance to refinance. You could lower your monthly payment, eliminate credit card debt, or even take cash out by using your home's equity. Call Hall Financial now to get started with your free 5-minute mortgage review. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you guys for joining us this morning. So much to talk about. Urban Meyer gotten fired. We brought up Jim Caldwell. Whew. COVID in the NFL, NBA, how it's going to affect the season going on later. DeAndre Hopkins out for the season. And speaking of DeAndre Hopkins, Jeff, he'll be out for the season. And last I checked, Arizona are visiting a team I think we're familiar with. The Detroit Lions.
Yes.
Just what can the Lions expect? And I'm going to ask this for everyone here and in the chat. What can the Lions expect from the Arizona Cardinals this weekend? Is it run heavy packages? Are they going to Rondell Moore gadget plays? And I think where I see it is Arizona's going to look to control the clock. Not that they're trying to limit the amount of possessions Detroit has, but they want to put together long, sustaining drives that will break down that defense, because we all know the strength of the Detroit Lions, shockingly, is the defense. And I think the Rondell Moore jet sweeps, end-arounds, running James Conner 18, 20 times, if Edmonds is back, giving him 8, 10, 12 carries his first game back. I think that's going to be Arizona's game plan. I see them trying to be very straightforward in how they attack the Lions. Nothing crazy. AJ Green, maybe a few deep shots. Christian Kirk, maybe a few shots over the middle. But that's it. I don't see this as the same explosive, dynamic Arizona Cardinals team without DeAndre Hopkins.
And I brought up the point about DeAndre Hopkins and the value of DeAndre. And you understand this year, listen, he's not having a year we're all used to him having. Number one, it's because of the health issue. He's been dealing with the knee. He's been dealing with other things. But besides that, I mean, let's just take the stats out of it. What does Hopkins bring to your football team? Well, if you're the Detroit Lions and you're out multiple, not only linebackers, but you're missing guys in the secondary, you're missing wide receivers. They're missing a lot. Possibly T.J. Hockenson this week and DeAndre Swift. It ain't going to be pretty. But I will tell you this. The value of DeAndre Hopkins, I'm sure Aaron Glenn in the film room with that defense, obviously before the injury of DeAndre Hopkins, you're focused on him. You're seeing, where does he go? How does he change this offense? He's out of the lineup now. So the Lions this week have a job. You look at A.J. Green, you look at Christian Kirk, like you just alluded to. Those are the guys you focus on. Now, do the Lions have a chance? Probably not. And I will say this, because of the injuries they suffered, the Cardinals' narrative matters. We talk about narrative all the time. They have to win. And they're 7-0 on the road. I'm not going to sit here and say the Lions give them their only loss on the road this year. I want to see the spread. I'm curious to what the spread is. It's probably, minus 14.5, whatever it is, minus 14. But the Arizona Cardinals, the Hopkins thing matters to opposing defenses because he draws so much attention. So this week, what are the Cardinals going to do? I'm sure they're going to run the ball down our throat. Whether you saw Kyler Murray late in the game last against the Rams, made big plays with his legs, didn't do a whole lot. He did it more towards down the stretch. But if he starts early, the Lions are going to have problems. They're going to have a lot on their hands to work with, especially if you're missing your Mike linebacker, possibly in Alex Anzalone, the guy that you moved to Mike linebacker, and Derek Barnes, he's questionable. So if I had to sit here and say, do the Lions have a chance? I don't think so, but listen, DeAndre Hopkins matters to that football team, and I think that's going to affect them the last 3 games of the season, not next week. I think they take care of business, but we'll start to feel the DeAndre Hopkins, just the aura of him actually missing games and missing possibly the end of the season towards playoff time.
Do the Lions have a chance?
No.
No chance?
No. No really? Chance. No, I don't think they have a chance. I really don't. And I'm not. That's not being a hater. I think there's there's too much depth missing. I mean, listen, if you're missing TJ, possibly Jamal, DeAndre Swift, a couple pieces on your defensive line, your secondary's already shattered. I mean, no, I don't think they have a chance.
So as a selfish human being, like I mentioned earlier, the selfish human being that I am hoping and praying that Kyler Murray goes for about 100 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns on the ground.
Because you got him.
Another 2 touchdowns through the air, 300 yards passing. I love that. I got him in fantasy. So as a selfish human being, I unfortunately will be rooting extremely hard for Kyler Murray this weekend. I'm sorry, Detroit. I'm in the playoffs, quarterfinals. It's showtime. I got business to handle. I got a family to feed. I can't feed my family if I don't win the finals, all right?
They could eat ramen noodles.
I'm going to be like Spiro. I'm going to be feeding my kids that I don't have ramen noodles. Wife is going to be sleeping on the couch because I have to sell the mattress. It's going to be hard times, guys, if I can't get out of this weekend, all right? I got to get to the semis. So, Kyler, do what you got to do, man.
Yep.
Having said that, I'm curious to see who shows up for Detroit.
Me too.
I want to know who's playing. And whether it's injury-related, flu bug, COVID, etc., etc. But guys, again, this like brings it back to the COVID situation. The Cardinals just played the Rams. The Rams have an outbreak. The Lions have an outbreak. And now the Cardinals, I'm selfish. I'm sorry. I told you I'm selfish. I am. If I'm a Cardinals fan, I'm sitting there like, I just played Monday night against a team that's contaminated, technically. Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to the team that just missed half their team because they're all sick. And I got to go share a field with them. Somebody explain to me the logic. And now, as a Cardinals fan, selfishly, love that word, I may lose Kyler Murray to COVID if he tests positive for a week. And we miss him next week against the Colts because we just played the Lions, who are infected as hell? I don't get it. Listen, I got a family to feed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Detroit. Kyler Murray's got to go for 5 touchdowns. Minimum. Nothing less. 100 yards on the ground. Minimum.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And when he does, people are going to get paid around here. All right? Got to get to the semis. I'll be good after. I like my schedule. This week, gotta avoid the upset this week. James Robinson, need him to die. Adam Thielen, need him to die. Sorry. I'm selfish.
Do you think there's a chance, and you asked me this thing, is there a chance the Cardinals at all, I get narrative matters, walk in and kind of, can't believe I'm saying this, but even like underestimate a little bit of the Lions and maybe they catch them off a little bit?
The word underestimate I don't like. What I think I prefer is they take the foot off the gas pedal a little bit. We saw it in Denver.
Yeah.
Denver came out storming. They coached it into the second quarter, and what happened? Detroit drove down, got a touchdown. They 3-and-out, went down, got a field goal. You can't take a second off in the NFL. I don't care who you're playing. So with Arizona, we'll have to see. We will have to see. Having said that, to answer your question, do I think the Lions or the Cardinals even botch it and have a chance? Look, again, I told you guys, I'm selfish. So no, I don't want the Lions to have a chance this weekend. Having said that, they have surprised every single week, mostly. They're one of the best teams against the spread. And if you told me that the Cardinals would win, I don't know, let's say 31-20, I'd be like, surprised they covered. Not surprised at all. Because I believe the Cardinals are 13.5-point favorites. But we'll have to wait and see. Look, the true man in me believes it's a James Conner day.
Definitely.
And I'm worried about that because that means Kyler isn't going to do well. And I'm not benching him for Kirk Cousins. So I'm kind of in a pickle. Having said that, it's going to be a tough weekend for the Lions.
Just don't tell Stick it's James Conner's week because he has him on his bench, and I'm facing him. So you know what? Hopefully he's not watching. Hey,
James Conner is probably going for another 2-3 touchdowns.
No.
I know you have Jonathan Taylor, Joe Mixon. You got to start James Conner, Jeff. I love you, but you're probably getting knocked out. Stick is peaking at the right time.
No.
You are not. Alex Meyer, I have beef with you, so me and you got to fight. Oh, wait. I just noticed this, by the way. Who the hell decided how these toys were stacked?
You know who it was.
I want to know.
You know who it was. It was the last person here.
Who?
You know who it was because it was the last person here.
I need a group of 3 people that were responsible for this.
Take a wild guess.
Stick?
No.
Who is responsible for this? Why on my camera?
You know who it is. I already told you.
And Jeff's camera.
You know who it is.
The Michigan State logo perfectly aligned. Go to Jeff's camera. Look at this.
You know who it is.
Oh.
You know who it is.
There we go.
He was the last person here.
Alex Meyer.
There you go. Ding, ding, ding.
Me and you are going to have a problem, my friend. Listen, I don't hate Michigan State.
Now, when Big D Energy comes on, D-Mac will grab like 50 toys, put it in front of him. Same with Neil. He'll grab like 1 or 2 toys. But yeah, Alex Meyer perfectly positioned the Michigan State toys in the back.
Alex Meyer is the worst commissioner in fantasy football history. It's a 12-man league, and we only gave 4 playoff spots? What a disaster. Shame on you, Alex Meyer.
Alex in the chat.
Shame on you.
He said, what I do now.
What did you do now? What is this Michigan State logo placement? What are they, our sponsors?
Hold on. To be fair, are there any other Michigan items in there that he could have shows or other Piston stuff? All right, I'm marking that down. You got to cut it out.
The kids.
That shit out of here.
the Michigan logo.
Go back to my camera. No Michigan State.
Should you be saying that and kids in the same sentence?
Listen, the kids can have the toy. I'm not talking about the kids here, Fish.
Okay. Sounded like you were.
No free logo. Look, I will not be associated with any school. As a proud dropout, I refuse to be associated with either alumni. Excuse me. Get the hell out of here.
We're neutrals.
You call it neutral. I just call it
maybe a
sophisticated
little,
man.
Maybe a little bias here
Michigan State
here
stuff.
and there.
You know what?
Uh-oh. Okay, I have to cut that out too. You're such an idiot, Adam.
Hey, at least we got a little balance.
At least they're in the college football playoffs.
Yeah, at least we're in the.
Good luck cutting out
Kennedy,
the audio,
I can swear
Adam.
as much as I want. Thank you very much. My show. Thank you. We got to go to break.
Oh, God.
When we get back, what do we got to talk about? Not a lot
Thursday
to
Night
talk
Football?
about. We got Thursday Night Football tonight. Kansas City Chiefs,
We do.
Los Angeles Chargers. But before we go, Justin Spiro called in a little earlier, talked about how majestic your hair is. Why don't you tell everybody where you get your hair
Well,
cut?
guys, fellas, I mean, Justin, I'm talking to you. And it's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Hopefully easy like the Arizona Cardinals winning this week. But anyway, get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. You walk in, sign in, sit down, and we got, listen, they got the flat screen TVs, the lovely ladies take you, they take care of you, make sure your hair is looking fresh before you leave. And this is why. You need to get to Lady Jane's. They're open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Anytime you want to get your hair cut, come into Lady Jane's because it is wicked awesome.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Choosing between a 15 or 30-year mortgage can be difficult, which is why we offer the Modern Mortgage, a flexible term that's customized for you. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Welcome back. 9:41 here in the morning in beautiful downtown Birmingham at the Woodward Sports Studios. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this morning. Alex Meyer, my good friend. Why am I catching heat? My friend, I'll tell you why. When you're the worst commissioner in Woodward Sports history, when you subliminally place Michigan State logo all over our show, as if
could you get him constructive criticism? Because I swear he was just thrown in to start the fantasy league. Like, I don't, did anyone else want to be commissioner?
Listen, when you, yes, he stepped up to the plate and made the league.
But that's what I'm asking. Did anyone else want to be? Did anyone else want to be commissioner though? Did anyone else want to be commissioner?
No, but that's not the point. You can't just, I'll be the commissioner and I'll just do a bad job. No, you got to take it seriously.
Take the pride.
That's why commissioners get fees.
They do.
This year in my fantasy league, when I win, my commissioner's getting a nice $300 bonus. Absolutely.
So you just made the incentive just kind of slip in.
Absolutely. Listen, we got Thursday Night Football tonight. Chiefs Chargers. Chargers won the battle earlier on in the season. Jeff, Chargers home favorites? They're home underdogs tonight, actually.
And listen,
who you got?
If I'm going to use my gut, I'm going to be a little biased here because I picked Kansas City to win the Super Bowl earlier in the year. I'm going to stick with Kansas City tonight. But I will say this. I won't be surprised if the Chargers beat them. Kansas City beat them earlier in the year. Or was it vice versa? Chargers beat them. One of the two. So I think this game is going to be important. I mean, it's a chance for either team to split the matchup. They're a game behind each other in their conference, and it's the only two teams really in that conference that we can say are going to possibly be in contention for a playoff spot. So disregard the Denver Broncos, disregard the Las Vegas Raiders. I like the Kansas City Chiefs. They're winners of 5 straight, and not only winners of 5 straight, defense over the last 5 games has really picked up. They've allowed 7, 14, 9, 9, and 9. So defensively, they're looking like they're hitting strides, and so is the Chargers. I mean, they've won 3 out of the last 5, so not as good as the Kansas City Chiefs, but Brandon Staley's getting that ship corrected. So tonight's going to be important. I think the missing Rashawn Slater going to be important. But on the other side of the ball, I mean, with Kansas City Chiefs, they're missing Chris Jones. They're missing guys too. So it's a toss-up for me, Adam. I mean, SoFi Stadium, as much as I want to say it's a home field advantage for the Chargers, I'm not even sure it is. There'll probably be some Kansas City Chiefs fans in that arena as well. But if I had to say who's going to perform better tonight. I think Patrick throws an interception. I think he throws some turnovers, but I'll still give Kansas City Chiefs the edge. I think it'll be close, though. I'll say 33-27.
So this game has slugfest written all over it. Unfortunately, the Chiefs' defense is peaking right now.
Yes,
in their last 5 games, 4 of them they've allowed less than 10 points. 10 or less points, I should say. That is unbelievable. And the offense for Kansas City it's not like it's back. It's not, actually. They're pretty average, actually. So I'm sorry. Give me the home team on the money line. It's too friendly. Although I deep down I know it's likely the scenario that the Chiefs beat the Chargers and take back their mantle. Like, yeah, we never gave this up. We're back. But I don't know. I have a good feeling about the Chargers on a short week. They just dominated the Giants. The defense looked good. Justin Herbert's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. I'm going to side with Brandon Staley and Justin Herbert tonight. And that sounds so foolish of me because Andy Reid and Mahomes are not... You don't bet against them often. But as a betting man, plus 186, yeah, I'm taking the Chargers.
Can you believe that the Chargers are worse at home than they are on the road? It's kind of the Cardinals. I mean, they're not as bad as the Cardinals, but I mean, they're 4-3 at home. So does that concern you at all? I mean, they're at home tonight.
No, it doesn't. Okay. I mean, SoFi Stadium isn't really like home field advantage right now for anybody. So, yeah, look, tonight's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great game to watch. I'm going, of course, you guys, again, I'm a selfish man. I'm an extremely selfish human being. And tonight, I go up against Austin Eckler.
Stick does as well.
So, I'm sorry. I hope Austin Eckler breaks his leg.
Don't say that.
I'm sorry.
I hope Austin drops 25.
Eckler, I go up against Austin Eckler tonight, and I've got the Kansas City kicker. So, I'm praying that the Chiefs kick a ton of field goals, and I'm hoping that the Chiefs defense does what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And when they tackle Austin Eckler, I want them to turn his ankle 360 degrees around. All the way around. That way I don't have to deal with this problem. Having said that, it's very mean of me to say. I totally understand that. I'm willing to take the karma responsibility of saying stuff like this. But damn it, I will not accept anything less than getting to the next round. And by any means necessary. So Austin Eckler, if you magically got ran over walking out of the bus by some random dude that looks like me in LA, sorry. Got to win fantasy football.
And I will give him this. Listen, if the Chargers win tonight, that would mean Brandon Staley would have swept Andy Reid for the year. And listen, 2-0 versus Andy Reid and the Chiefs, you got to give credit to the man. Especially if you win tonight, they're tied for the division. You have a 2-game lead over the guys second. They're going to win the division, in my opinion. I mean, the Chargers, this is the game right here. I mean, you're missing some secondary. Derwin James, again, questionable. I mean, Asante Samuel, questionable. So secondary's out. We'll see. I think it's going to be interesting, man. If Austin Eckler, he's playing, he's banged up. No Rashawn Slater. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, look, this looks like a disaster game for the Chargers. Just bad timing. They did activate Keenan Allen off a COVID list, which is good for them, but no Rashawn Slater, banged up secondary. It's going to be a challenge. But look, as a betting man, I'm definitely taking the Chargers. Plus 186 at home.
Is that what it is?
They're plus 186. I believe the Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites right now. I could be wrong. It could be higher or lower. But, yeah, man, sorry. That's the truth. That's just the truth. So, we got to go to break. When we get back, one of my favorite times of the day, everybody in the chat, get your questions ready. Ask them, line them up, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. Questions about Jim Caldwell, COVID, even though I'm not a health physician or a doctor, whatever you want to call him. You want to ask Jeff about the MVP race? You want to ask Fish about what color underwear he's wearing? Be my guest. Have your questions ready when we get back from the break.
It's that time of the year again. Time for our second annual Stuff a Studio with Woodward Sports. Last year, Metro Detroit came together to help make the largest single toy donation in Mott Children's Hospital history. This year, we make it even bigger. Stuff a Studio is happening December 13th through the 17th at the Woodward Sports Studios in Birmingham. The children in Mott Children's Hospital fight so hard all year. Now it's up to all of us to help bring a smile to their faces. So while you're out holiday shopping, make sure you pick up an extra toy or two and help us spread some love to Metro Detroit this season. We look forward to seeing you December 13th through the 17th as we stuff our studio with Woodward Sports and Meyer.
Woodward Sports Network, let's go! Ho, 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 ho!
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
All right, baby. Final segment of the day. We get to close it with questions from our lovely chat. We'll start with David. David, does Urban Meyer coach again? And if so, where? Jeff?
Collegiately, if anything. I mean, the guy's definitely not going back to the NFL. I mean, you've seen how we already treated not only Josh Lambo, but we can go on and on. So if he's going to coach again, it's going to be somewhere collegiately. And I think, listen, I don't know. I don't think USC is over here scratching their heads. But I mean, they got their guy. But there is some teams I'm assuming now are looking at it like SHIT. We missed out on someone we probably could have gotten for an interview, but I think it'd be collegially. Notre Dame got their guy, so I don't know. It's gonna. I don't know.
All
what
the college vacancies are taken right now. There's no big program available, and honestly, nobody wants Urban Meyer anymore. You don't kick people, unless you do. If you become a great college coach by kicking players, sign me up. I'll win 2 natties. It's not. I don't know why Urban thought that was the right way to go about it. He is unbelievably idiotic and naive. Next question. Whew, I like this. You think the Dolphins have a chance to make a late push for the playoffs? No. And I like Miami.
Me too. Just had a bad
But they
start.
got a tough schedule.
Yeah.
They're home to the Jets. You can lock that up basically as a win. Away on the road to the Saints. On the road to Tennessee. And at home to New England. Good luck.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough. Maybe if you're lucky if you go 2-2.
Yeah.
You're lucky if you go 2-2, which would leave them at what? 8 and 9. 8 and 9 isn't probably getting into the AFC. Sorry. Miami will just miss out after starting 1-7. They've done a great job winning 5 straight. Total credit to the coaching staff and the players. But sorry, no, you can't do that. You can't start off 1-7 and expect to make the playoffs. I think they fall just short.
I like this. Will the Lions lose by 13 or by 20?
Neither.
And will Goff throw a touchdown pass? I think maybe Goff throwing a touchdown pass, but we're losing by over probably 20 points. I mean, I don't know. That's tough. Maybe if we're down big, he's got to throw. They're just giving us yards. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like saying like how many the Lions will lose by because
let's say the spread is minus 14.5.
It's minus 13.5 for the Cardinals.
I'm going. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone's taking the points with Arizona. Although, again, it's stupid to do that because the Lions love to cover the spread. So, kind of a bad option if you're a bettor. Let's see. What's your favorite ramen flavor? Shrimp.
Chicken? Give me the basic.
Fish? I'm a shrimp guy.
Okay. I've probably had ramen once in my life.
Oh, well. I can't.
I think
I can't
it was
talk to you anymore,
well,
Fish.
I'm sure you know who I am. I eat like 10 items. I think I've had the chicken one. It was pretty good.
All right. For Adam, who would you put on the Detroit Lions Mount Rushmore? That's a great question.
Nobody.
No, you would.
Definitely you would.
You've got Barry Sanders, obviously.
It's like
Calvin Johnson. Jason Hansen.
Spielman?
No.
I was talking like Adam. Adam
The
wouldn't
fourth
put
one is
anyone
hard.
on that.
Give me a second. Let me think. I like Jason Hansen, Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson.
What about Sheila Ford Hemp?
Yeah, okay. This is hard. This is hard. That's a good question. Joe Schmidt? Joe Schmidt? Those are the 4.
Not Jim Caldwell?
I can only have 4, right?
If that's what the question is, then yes.
Yeah, I can only have 4. So I'm going to do Schmidt, Barry Sanders, Jason Hansen, and Calvin Johnson. I think that's a good balance. Although some would say Stafford, some would say Herman Moore. I'm not on the...
Not Lomas Brown?
Nope, not Lomas Brown. Joe Schmidt, dominant, Hall of Famer. Barry Sanders, Hall of Famer. Calvin, Hall of Famer. Jason Hansen will be in the Hall of Fame. I like those 4.
Matt Prater?
I think that speaks to the history of the Lions pretty well. Right? Because Jason Hansen, almost a 20-year career with the Lions. One of the best kickers ever. Historic career. Great. Joe Schmidt, dominating in his era. I believe the 50s, 60s, wherever he was. I want to say, 53 to 65 he played? Something along those lines. Whatever. So those 2. And then you've got one of, if not the best running back ever, we can all agree, Barry Sanders, and a top 3 of all-time wide receiver in Calvin Johnson. So that's my That's my Mount Rushmore. Sheila, Herman, Lomas, none of them anywhere near it. Sorry. Does that answer everyone's question? Everyone's like so quiet as if I said something that was tragically wrong.
No, it answers our
question. The room
question.
is like extremely
We got
awkward
everything
right
we
now.
wanted.
As if like I said Penei Sewell should be on Mount Rushmore right now. And like what? What's wrong with what I said?
No,
Bobby
you
Lane's a
didn't-
good one. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I can only pick 4, guys. Night Train Lane, of course. Yeah, I don't know, guys. It's tough. It's really tough. Pick a receiver, Mailbag. Diggs, Thielen, Deebo Samuel.
He's probably talking for fantasy.
Yeah, this weekend I'm starting Diggs and Samuel. Samuel is due a big game.
Thielen's not even playing.
Thielen, he's questionable.
Oh, I have
But
him,
even
so
then,
it's good news for me.
Even then, I'm not sure if I'm starting a guy that is coming off an injury.
Are you starting him, Jeff?
Especially in the playoffs.
No, not this week.
Okay.
Not
Billy
yet.
Sims is a good
Not
one.
yet.
Yeah, guys, look, it's Mount Rushmore, so I'm not going to kill you guys if you want to replace one of them with Billy Sims. I think we can all agree Calvin and Barry aren't moving off of it.
No, that's
so you got a
for
debate
sure,
between
too.
Schmidt and Jason Hansen. I think Jason Hansen is a deserving Mount Rushmore player, even though he's a kicker. But still, I like to pay my respects to good people. What other questions? Pineapple on pizza. David, how dare you?
Ooh-wee.
I love it.
Fish, you love it?
No. I
All
mean,
right,
I
that's good.
don't disrespect people. I've never had it before, but I have no interest in it.
All right, so pineapple, I will say, is better than what people think on a pizza. I tried it after crapping on it for years. It's actually not bad. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Having said that, I'm a veggie, feta, peppers, mushrooms guy, so...
Oh.
Adam, can you tell me why you smell different when you are awake? The hell if I know. What am I, a neurologist? This is the Woodward Sports Network.
It is.
Not the Doctors Unite Network, all right?
Doctors
The hell
Unite
do I know?
Network.
The hell do I know? Stop it. Pick a receiver to keep after the season.
I feel like it's still
one of the 3. Excuse me, you're in a dynasty
Yeah,
league,
Dynasty
Mitch.
League.
Ooh, I'm keeping Diggs, man.
Yeah, he's the...
Yeah, you got to keep Diggs. You got to keep Diggs. But yeah, pineapple is not as bad as people say it is. What other questions do we have?
Are you in the Dynasty League, Adam?
What's his question?
He said, does the number 9 on the field bother anyone? You saw that thing with...
with the picture
And I
of
think
the...
that's not as big as everyone's making it to be, because the COVID... a lot of players are out with COVID. They don't have as many numbers. Corey tweeted it. So I guess I get what you're saying. I mean, if there's not barely any numbers left, you have 9, you give it to somebody.
Oh my God, what are the Lions doing? Why
People
number 9
expect
out
the number to be retired or something. I mean, it is what it is. It's a business, and if you don't have numbers, you need guys to practice. They get number 9.
Just relax.
Yeah, look, Deaton Show, I can't give you fantasy advice on James Robinson. I'm sorry. He is on my opponent's bench. I am scared that my opponent will start him.
Does he watch the show?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I cannot give fantasy advice on Adam Thielen, Austin Eckler, and James Robinson this week. I apologize. I am extremely biased and selfish. You guys know this by now. All right, guys. What other questions do we have? We have 2 minutes, guys. Get in your questions before we got to go. Whew. My goodness. Adam, why does it burn when I urinate? All right. I know the reason why. I actually do.
Are these questions people are asking?
I swear to you, I wish I was joking. These are the questions we get on a sports show. It's unbelievably amazing. I don't know. I don't know what burning piss feels like. I don't.
Do you realize you have the control over what questions you choose?
What is going on here?
Oh, God.
These are the questions we're getting?
Well, yeah,
If
but
I
you
was
can
a
pick
kindergarten
them.
teacher, I would put you in timeout. What are we doing? Question: if Rodgers leaves the Packers at the end of the season, do they still win the North next year? Yes.
With Jordan Love, you think?
If their quarterback is not Jordan Love.
Okay, I like how you put a little asterisk on it.
Look, they got to move on from Jordan Love.
Definitely.
But I think they keep Rodgers. I don't think he leaves. I think he's just one of those guys that he's kind of wired like MJ. He needs somebody to hate. He needs something to motivate him because he's just so damn good at what he does. And I feel like he's joking with the Packers, hating on the media, making people hate him so he can kind of like self-motivate himself. I swear to you, it's like I truly believe this is how he feels.
And he owns that division. Like, imagine if he went to Pittsburgh. Like, everyone says he's going to Pittsburgh, and you're going to a tougher division. I get that, but...
Patty, if Murray has an average game, I will be crying on Sunday because it likely means I get eliminated from the playoffs.
Wow.
So let's not say these kind of things, Patty. How about we not do that? All right? Adam, what's your favorite kind of weed strain? I don't smoke weed.
I love how you just see those questions.
I'm all for every question. I don't care. I don't care. When do you think the middle linebacker lockout ends? Oh, the MLB. I'm so funny.
Yeah, MLB ding game.
I totally misread that. Well, I thought he was going to ask me something about the middle linebackers in the draft. When do I think it ends? I don't know, and I don't care. Baseball's so stupid. They have money to pay people $300-400 million contracts, but then they complain about money. Shut the hell up.
Don't let Maz get involved.
Confusing.
Figure it out. Maz doesn't want to talk. Madison Square Garden, the Mecca. Shut up. The Mecca. The Mecca loses, just like the Dallas Cowboys, America's team.
It's an iconic venue. You don't think it's an iconic venue?
Yeah, it was an iconic venue. It hasn't been for about 20 years.
Like when you think of like stadiums, what stadiums come to mind when you think of stadiums? Just anywhere in the world. What are your like when I say stadiums, what do you think of?
I don't think anybody thinks of no.
You really don't think of Madison Square Garden?
No.
I get what you're saying.
It's not. In the last 20 years, it's irrelevant. We got to end.
Okay.
Who's my favorite football commissioner? He knows exactly who he is. If he wants to drop me Jonathan Taylor, I would appreciate that.
Is it Wasim?
Yes, it is. He is the commissioner. That's why he gets the commissioner fee.
Don't listen to this man.
It's my man. All right, we got to go. Thank you guys so much for joining us this morning here on the Woodward Sports Network. We can't thank you enough. Thank you for everybody who engaged in the chat. Justin for calling in. Guys, take advantage of the call-in number. Anytime you guys want to talk to me and Jeff,
yes.
Open book here. Call in 313-552-6322.
We want to bicker with you.
We'll see you tomorrow. Lots of Lions talk tomorrow. So excited for it. Friday, 2 days before the weekend. Have a great Thursday, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow morning.